I've had like cases or women who had like massive teddy bears in front of them to start with, but then after a while just being like, oh, it, yeah, I'm just going to show myself this is me. That's amazing to be able to see that in their eyes.
Don't give up the chase. Don't give up. Don't give up the chase. Don't give up. Feel the need. Feel the beating. 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 Feel the need.
We're here today in London, in Canada Water, in a very nice coffee shop. It's called Mousetail Coffee Stories.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it?
Yeah. Thanks again, guys, for letting me film here. It's just such a gorgeous place. And I'm here with Fanny Beckman. Hi, Fanny.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. Yeah, it's been a good day today. So
Thank you so much for doing this. So this is my project called A Creative Experiment. I speak with other creatives about what they do, about how they create. I'd like to explore your creative process.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm honoured to be here, so thank you very much.
Honored? Oh,
Yeah.
Come on, don't like overplay it like that.
No, but it's nice like to be able to speak about my creative
Yeah.
process for sure.
I'm not gonna say anything about you. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. You take pictures.
I do. I am a feminist photographer, and I use my art to raise awareness of different social issues that I think are underrepresented in media, for example. I've done projects about domestic abuse and about beauty standards, and that's something that I'm currently working at the moment. But I just moved up to London. I used to live in Brighton, but I'm originally from Sweden. It feels great to be in London. It's so much creativity and such a great like cultural scene as well. Yeah, I'm living my best life at the moment.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, really excited.
Photography. You're a photographer. What happened? Why?
It's been such a big part of my life because I got my first camera when I was 4 years old, and I kind of got trapped immediately. Obviously started with film photography back then. I just fell in love with it. When you start exploring it, you try everything. But then I landed in that I prefer taking photos of people, so portraits. Just left my full-time job recently to focus more on developing my photography as a career as well. So yeah, it's exciting times for sure.
You've taken the leap, like of quitting the day job to pursue the thing. This is something that a lot of us want to do, but I think everybody's kind of a little bit scared of doing it.
Yeah.
What is going to happen to me? Am I going able to support my lifestyle? Am I going to make it?
I mean, obviously it is really scary. I was thinking about doing it for about a year before I actually quit my full-time job, because I didn't think that I would be able to, especially not since, my background is I studied fine art photography, and I do a lot of personal projects, like I said, surrounding feminism and that kind of stuff. And I didn't think that there was a commercial platform for it at all. Essentially, I didn't think that I could make money from it. So I thought, maybe I just have a daytime job, which is all right, and then I can do this on the side. But what I realised is it takes so much time to be able to do everything that I want to do. Here in London especially, there's so many cool companies to collaborate with and so many good opportunities, and companies that have the same kind of values as I have, diversity and wanting to change the industry, especially the fashion industry, which is really problematic, but there are actually people who fight against that, which is such a relief. I've realised that it's actually possible because I've only been here for 2 months, but already I do quite a lot. So I started collaborating with a company called Yoppy, who does sustainable pads and tampons. On the side, I assist other photographers, which is a lot of fun. And again, I get to meet amazing, inspiring people, but also learn more about the industry and studio lights and that kind of stuff as well. It's really inspiring because everyone has their own way of doing things. It's a lot about meeting people, and that's why I do portrait photography as well, because it's all about the connections I have with the person in front of the camera. So even though if I'm not taking photos during these kind of photo shoots, I still get to meet and have interesting conversations with like-minded people.
Where do you usually get your inspiration from? Where or from what?
It's definitely going to exhibitions. That's my main thing. I recently went to the V&A, for example, Tim Walker's exhibition there, and it's just something special. It was just like rooms and rooms of his work and like printed big, and it's inspiring just to see the photos, but also the way they hang them. And since I really love having exhibitions myself, like how they curate it and the story they tell by like how they hang it again, it's something special. If I struggle with inspiration myself, I just love going somewhere else and look at other people's work. Obviously Instagram and Pinterest and social media in general is great for that as well, but it is something different to see it printed big. And that's what I like having exhibitions myself, because it's a special feeling that when you see your photo print, it's like, yeah, I made that, that's pretty cool. And like just technicalities as well, different colours, and it's so different from seeing from the screen.
And it's always going to be connected with things you believe in, activism or feminism and things like that?
Yeah.
Is that the way you process things? Is that the way you like to create?
Yeah, it's for sure. Like sometimes I just do headshots because I think it looks cool, whatever, but it's not that common. Yes, that's definitely what I want to do with my photography, to not just please the eyes, but also to spark something in the viewer's mind. Definitely.
You were saying that you liked photography, and especially portrait photography, because of the way you were connecting to the model, the person.
Yeah.
How do you create that connection?
I normally set quite a lot of time beforehand, before the shoot, to get to know the person if I don't already know them. But even if I do know them, it's just nice to sit down, have a tea or a coffee and just talk about things. I do this project about beauty standards called Women of My Generation. Doing these shoots, I always raise the question about their relationship to their body and body image. But to start with, I'm not just going into them and say, right, what's your relationship to your body then? It's something that happens gradually. You have to build trust for that to happen, for sure. So can we talk about anything, really?
Especially with that project, because, so to give a little background, Women of My Generation, you speak with women of every background and shape and size and color. You take pictures of them in their underwear on their bed.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not that easy to make happen.
No.
Right?
Yeah, when I started it, I reached out on Instagram looking for people who want to get involved. I was overwhelmed by how many people wanted to do it, and also like people that I've never met before. Yeah, that was really like a massive privilege that they felt the trust and let me into their kind of safe space. In those kind of cases, we'd spent like 1 hour, 2 hours just talking about stuff and getting to know each other. I've had like cases or women who had like massive teddy bears in front of them to start with, to kind of cover their bodies so that they didn't feel secure enough to show me it or show the camera. But then after a while, just being like, oh, fuck it, yeah, I'm just going to show myself, this is me. And that is like, that's amazing to be able to see that in their eyes, and like gradually that they get more confident, because that's what it's all about. Obviously, I want to show the viewer, the audience who see the pictures, I want to make them feel more confident, but also in that moment during the photo shoot, when you have a person in front of you who is insecure and does this to like challenge themselves and to gain more confidence, to see that in their eyes, that brings me so much joy, and that's initially like, that's a big reason why I do it. So yeah, it's amazing.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for doing that.
Thanks.
So you take pictures, you're a photographer. I make music, I shoot videos and stuff like that. I find easy to use an audio recording or a video recording to tell a story because you can feel time passing. How do you tell someone's story from one picture? Because it is one snapshot of one moment in time. How do you tell someone's a story from that?
Yeah. It's a good question. I think it is difficult to tell a story with just one photo. It's definitely possible and doable. With the project that I spoke about now, Women of My Generation, I think I have like 25 photos as we speak, and it is to show diversity. That wouldn't be possible with just one photo. I also have another project, or a smaller one, where I take photos of friends and their partners, and that's so intimate. A couple kissing each other, or you can see something in their eyes that when they look at each other, then you can definitely tell a story with just one photo if you manage to capture that one moment. So when I do that, I just let people do their thing and I just sit and watch them.
Hey, just make out. I'm going to take pictures.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No, not creepy at all. I think you just have to learn to be a fly on the wall sometimes. And again, about building trust. I wouldn't just like sit down and do, just make out. I'm just going to sit here in the corner. Don't worry about me. Like, nah, I kind of have to have a conversation beforehand to build that trust.
So for that project, Women of My Generation, you started a conversation with the pictures, but you really wanted to just have a conversation, so you just had the conversation in front of a microphone and expanded to a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I think with photos, I definitely think that they show diversity and they provide the representation that I missed when I was younger. But like you said, it's so much about the conversation behind it as well. So not just about body image, but it's led to conversations about periods or about eating disorders or family relationship and stuff like that. And I realised that loads of these topics are still very stigmatised. So I want to remove the stigma, and I think a lot of people can relate to each other without really knowing it. Yes, you're not alone. There are other people who share, like, obviously not exactly the same story, but very, very similar. For example, in this project, I realised that so many people struggle with their relationship to their mums, or like their mum's eating disorder was projected onto them. I didn't realise how common that was until I did this project. And when I've told my friends about this, like, do you actually know how common this is? They're like, no, we don't, because that's a topic that we haven't discussed with each other before.
It brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings to have this kind of conversation. How do you manage that?
I just think it's really beautiful to be able to build that trust and to have these conversations because it's so, so important. I haven't felt any negative emotions around it because I do feel like times are changing. Obviously, there are some really tough stories about, like, I had one guest, for example, who lost both her parents, and that's heartbreaking in every possible way. But it's also inspiring to hear that she's starting a community for other people who are in the same situation. It just builds this massive community where we can help each other. That's a winning situation. I can't see anything harmful with that.
You get in trouble sometimes for showing things that people are not comfortable with or are not ready yet or are reluctant to talk about, because there's still a lot of friction with activism and with women's rights and equality and stuff like that. And even just like body hair, for example, people sometimes react not in a very nice way to that. How do you deal with that?
I haven't experienced that much backlash, to be honest. I think it's because my audience are very open-minded and they want to see a change themselves. I think loads of people, myself included, just had enough of feeling ashamed of whatever, of body hair or about their body, how it looks in general, weight, you name it.
Because there's a lot of reactions as well that are like, finally, you know?
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
means you're on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time. People are just fed up with it, and there's so much more we can do with our time than thinking about what we look like. And once you kind of find that something that you want to put all this time and energy to, it's just way easier to focus on that because you kind of find your purpose in other things, which I'm really, really glad that I have found this early in my life, actually.
Found your voice and your confidence.
Yeah, and kind of my purpose in life. It sounds like a massive cliche, but I am really glad that I did that.
You worked for a camera company before. Not camera company, but in the business.
Yeah.
You gained a lot of skills and knowledge from that.
Yeah.
Is that at all helpful for your work? Do you get anything from it, or not really?
You know, it's definitely helpful. It enables me to think less about the technical parts, ironically enough, because I just do it. I do it automatically, set my settings, and that's all done. And then I can focus on the person in front of the camera and the setting around it. I don't have to waste time thinking about the technical parts.
So you've had the chance to test a lot of gear.
Yes.
A lot of different cameras and stuff like that. Yet, you use Nikon. What's your problem?
Wow. Bit childish, Tom, there. Of course I do. I've always used Nikon and I love it. I love how it feels. It's a bit heavier than Canon, which I like. Some people don't like that, and that's fair enough. Like I said, I've always had it, and I think that's the main thing. Loads of people go for the first brand. Some people don't. Some people like to change it up a bit, and that's completely down to them. I am not a geek in terms of the technical things. I know about it, but that's not where my passion is. It's about the creativity, the technical aspect. It's a tool to create great stuff, but it's not why I do it.
Good, you fell in my trap. Because does it really matter?
No. I mean, they're all like great brands and they compete with each other. So they try to do similar stuff or think one step ahead all the time. So obviously they are really good, both of them.
If you had to keep only one lens, what would that be?
Keep one or...
Only use one for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I was about to say, because I don't have it now, but the Nikon 24-70, the VR version 2.8 is...
And you're not a geek?
No. It is my dream lens, but it's so expensive. Like, it is a shame that the photography world is so expensive in general, because it kind of cuts up a lot of people who aren't able to afford it. With that said, there are like loads of good alternatives now, and even like phones have really good cameras today. But I really like that lens because it's great focal length and focal range, even that you have both wide angle and some zoom as well. It works perfectly as a portrait photographer because you can take close-up shots, but also, for example, when I do women of my generation, I need to be able to have a wide angle as well, because I never really know what the bedroom looks like when I'm there, so it could be really tiny, and then if I have even a 50mm lens, I wouldn't be able to capture her whole body, so it wouldn't really work at all. And that's why I bought my 35mm lens, the Sigma Art one, which works really good and it's very sharp as well. So that's what I have at the moment. I have a 50, a 35 and an 85 because it works well with portraits.
Because you're such a bold personality. I thought you were going to go for a prime lens or something.
Yeah.
Like, screw this. I'm just going to have one focal length
Yeah.
and that's it.
No, it's hard. Like I normally...
Challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Like up until I bought my 35mm, I just brought my 50mm everywhere. Being in a small room, it doesn't really work at all.
Forces you to be more creative sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't even do that. Like, if you physically can't move, it's like, no, I can't do much here.
What's the thing you struggle the most with in your creative process?
Not having the right resources. I have so many ideas that I want to be able to achieve. Like I mentioned earlier, having exhibitions is something that I really, really want to do. It's expensive. First of all, you have to find a venue and have to pay for that, and then prints, and where should I keep all the prints when I don't have like a studio space. I don't struggle finding ideas. at all, and normally don't struggle to find people to work with either, because there's so many people who want to do similar things as I do, and I'm not shy to ask either. It's London, there's so many cool events to go to, so many good websites to turn to, so that's not really an issue. It's just finding the resources and the right path to go down.
Are there times where you don't create that much? When that happens, how do you feel?
I remember a couple of years ago when I didn't do much at all, like looking back at a whole year, I was like, what have I actually done? Like in terms of photography, I realised it was quite linked to my mental health. It's such a cliche again, where like artists have to do like their own thing and create stuff to be able to feel good in themselves. I didn't think that I was that kind of person, but then when I looked back, I think it was 2 years ago, so 2018, and I was like, why am I feeling a bit low? And I was like, is it because I haven't really done much creative stuff at all? And I think it was really linked. So last year I kind of did a complete opposite. That's when I started Women of My Generation. I started taking more film shots as well, just bringing along my camera whenever, and it really helped.
It's hard to imagine you not doing anything or not creating, because the way I know you, if there's one word to describe you, it's driven. So you're going to do everything you can to make things happen and create things, and have your message delivered. That's what I see when I see you at the moment.
Well, thank you. I think that's a compliment.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've always been ambitious in that sense, but there's definitely been loads of times when I've doubted myself, because again, I spent a lot of time trying to pursue this dream career, but most of the times I get a no or don't even get a reply. So behind like one success, there's so many things that just gone wrong, or that, not wrong necessarily, but I didn't get the opportunity that I really wanted to, and that can be devastating. But it's not in my head to give up at all, because if I succeed one, then that gives me this confidence boost that I really need to be able to keep doing it. I've learned to see it in a way that it's not my work that's wrong, it's just that opportunity wasn't the best for me or for my work. It wasn't suitable, or there was someone else who was more suitable for that position, and that's fine. I just find other things to do.
That's great. Is there anything you want to say to other creatives out there?
Don't give up. Don't stop what you're doing. Keep creating, because you will learn more. Even if it is, as a photographer, going out with your friends, take lots of photos. You might not use it for something, but you will probably learn something new from it. Or if you create music, do that. Just keep practicing. If you do jobs for free, it's a difficult balance doing stuff for free, but is there anything in it for you? Can you use it in your portfolio? Can you meet some cool people? What's in it for you? Evaluate that and think about why you're doing it. Don't stop. Create more. See who you can collaborate with, in terms of, you can learn something from other creatives. That's what you do as well. You want to meet other creatives. Music industry, photography, videography, audio, anything. We are pretty like-minded, and I think we can learn a lot from each other.
Let me say something. You, people like you, you're the reason why I moved to London, to connect with people as driven and creative and awesome as you. It's it's really nice to be able to relate to someone and talk about creative things and do things together, even though we are very different and we have different platforms. And that's why I'm doing this project, because I think all of us, we have a lot in common.
Yeah, for sure.
So thanks for doing that, Fanny. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
You're killing it. So I'm sure you're going to do great things. Maybe we'll do something together in the future.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thank you. Yes.